You have done the impossible. Threx's eyes burned with a mix of fury and respect. Jarek crossed his arms. I did what I had to. You can try to stop me next time, but I suggest you don't. Threx hesitated, then bowed slightly. Perhaps humans are more than we imagined. Jarek smiled. More than you imagined? That's an understatement. Months later, Jarek traveled the galaxy in the Oblivion's Fang, visiting old colonies, forgotten worlds, and uncharted systems. Everywhere he went, people remembered. Humans were no longer considered late arrivals. They were the species that could survive, adapt, and lead. The ship, alive in its own way, guided him, whispered knowledge, and sometimes made decisions faster than he could. But Jarek never forgot one thing. It had chosen him as much as he had chosen it. In distant star systems, leaders now asked for alliances with humans. Pirates thought twice before attacking. Ancient ships, long abandoned, began to awaken at his command. All because one human had the courage to bid 8 credits on a forgotten ship. The final message. One night, deep in the Outer Rim, the AI spoke softly. Human Captain, the galaxy is aware. Your actions will be remembered. The ship has fulfilled its primary purpose, but additional threats remain. He smiled faintly. Keep exploring. Keep protecting. That's what humans do. And with that, the Oblivion's Fang jumped into warp, the stars stretching into lines of light. One man and one forgotten ship had changed the galaxy. A legend was born. Energy beams struck from the enemy structure, massive blasts tearing through space. But Jarek was faster. The AI guided precise movements, creating blind spots in the structure's fire. He pressed a lever marked in alien symbols. A hidden panel opened in the ship's belly. Inside was a device that pulsed with golden energy. Primary weapon. Legacy's Etherean deterrent. Requires human command authority, the AI explained. Jarek nodded. Guess it's time to see what you're really made of. Unleashing the Forgotten. He activated the device. A wave of golden energy shot from the Oblivion's Fang, wrapping around the enemy structure. The enemy pulsed, then shook violently. Shields, weapons, and smaller ships linked to the structure began to shut down. The golden wave spread like a tide, rewriting code and energy flows. It worked. The enemy weapon, thought lost for millennia, went dormant. Ships that had attacked the galaxy for centuries now floated harmlessly in space. Jarek laughed. 8 credits. 8 credits for all this. The AI spoke slowly, almost reverently. Human legacy confirmed. Galaxy-wide influence restored. Survival probability of other civilizations high. Human ingenuity unprecedented. The aftermath. The battle was over. Jarek floated in the cockpit of the Oblivion's Fang, breathing heavily. He looked at the galaxy spread out before him. Planets, stars, civilizations, all still alive. All still intact. They had seen what one human could do, not just survive. Not just fight, but command an ancient warship and change the balance of power. Respect replaced fear. Humans, long thought weak and irrelevant, were suddenly seen as equals. Powerful, clever, dangerous in ways no alien could predict. And it all came from one man and one ship. Facing Threx one last time. Then came the final message. A hologram of Threx appeared aboard the Oblivion's Fang. Fleets from multiple empires, pirates, Threxi, and neutral observers saw the human fight. They expected the Oblivion's Fang to fail. It didn't. It destroyed ship after ship with elegant efficiency. No collateral damage, just clean, calculated strikes. Humans, whispered a Threxi admiral, watching holographic feeds. They weren't supposed to survive, but survive Jarek did. More than that, he dominated. He moved like a storm, weaving through blasts, dodging attacks, and using enemy momentum against them. Unexpected allies, then something strange happened. Some of the enemy ships hesitated. Others stopped firing. Jarek realized why. They were old ships from ancient times, designed for war but lacking purpose. The AI whispered, "Recognition. Human command authority. Legacy protocol activated. some units aligning with human. Jarek blinked. Wait, what? Ships that had once been the enemies of humanity now responded to his presence. The human had awakened something older, something beyond politics or fear. He activated a communication channel. Listen, I don't want unnecessary fighting. But I'm not letting this ancient weapon destroy the galaxy. Join me, or get out of the way. Others followed his commands. Slowly, a coalition formed. Human ingenuity, ancient AI systems, and even alien ships that had once fought humans, now under his leadership. The heart of the enemy. Finally, Jarek reached the moon-sized structure. Its surface was jagged and dark. Energy pulsed along its edges like veins of fire. Massive weapons rotated, pointing outward. AI, can we survive this? He asked. Probability of success. Depends on human decisions. Lethal output of enemy. Unmatched. Jarek's grin returned. Then we do what humans do best. Improvise. The Oblivion's fang dove toward the enemy's core, shields glowing brighter than ever. The Oblivion's fang glided through the dark void, faster than anything the galaxy had seen in centuries. Its golden shields shimmered as stars streaked by. Captain Jarek Voss gripped the controls with a calm intensity, but inside, his heart raced. Ahead, a machine the size of a moon floated ominously near a black star. It pulsed with red energy and hummed in rhythms older than human history. AI status, Jarek said. Dormant enemy asset fully operational. Weapon systems online. Probability of galactic threat critical. Jarek nodded. Figures. Nothing in the auction description mentioned this. The Oblivion's fang vibrated slightly under his feet. It had changed since Jarek first took control. Its systems were alive, adaptive. Waiting for him to act, first contact. As the ship approached, dozens of smaller enemy ships launched from the moon-sized structure. They were like ancient fighters, angular, heavy, armed with energy weapons unlike anything in the current galaxy. Jarek's grin widened. All right, let's see what you've got. He activated the Oblivion's fang's full combat protocols. Turrets slid from hidden ports. Energy beams flickered along the hull, cloaking fields engaged and disengaged like a heartbeat. The AI spoke, now with a voice that seemed almost proud. Primary combat alignment. Optimal. Human ingenuity integration. Complete. The first wave of enemy ships shot forward. Jarek twisted the controls, diving through the swarm. Energy shields flared, absorbing the blasts. He fired back with precision drones, disabling engines and weapons without destroying life. One by one, enemy ships fell into disarray. Jarek's movements were unpredictable, unorthodox, and perfectly human. The Oblivion's fang adapted instantly, following his instincts and amplifying them. The battle expands from the surface of nearby planets. Galactic civilizations watched in shock. Ancient sensors had awakened. Jarek exhaled slowly. 8 credits, he whispered again. A bigger problem, victory. Felt good. But something else was happening. A deep signal pulsed through space, stronger than before. Older. Then it spoke slowly. Dormant enemy signature detected. Jarek frowned. Enemy? The screen zoomed out to a distant system. A massive structure floated near a dark planet. It was not a ship. It was not a station. It looked like a machine the size of a moon. Zetherian War Archive indicates this as Final Enemy Asset. Status previously destroyed. But it's not destroyed. Correct. The structure pulsed with red light. Then, dozens of smaller ships launched from it. Ancient ships, stronger than the pirates. Stronger than the Threxy. Jarek felt something shift in the air inside the cockpit. The Oblivion's fang hummed louder than ever before. Primary mission awakening, the AI said. Which is, Jarek asked, protect the galaxy. The galaxy watches. Across multiple systems, leaders watched battle recordings. They saw a single human pilot defeat entire fleets. They saw ancient weapons activate under human control. They saw history rewritten. Whispers spread. Humans were part of the old war, the forgotten allies, the adaptive species. Fear changed into something else. respect. The decision. Jarek stared at the massive, ancient enemy structure on screen. He could run. He could hide. He had enough power to disappear. But he didn't. He leaned forward in his chair. Plot a course. Destination. That thing, he said firmly. If it wakes up fully, everyone is in trouble. Then the AI replied. Human courage parameter confirmed. The engines roared. Stars stretched into lines as the Oblivion's fang jumped to warp. Toward the ancient enemy. Toward a war the galaxy had forgotten. But humans had not. Several vessels collided with each other. Jarek laughed. Never fly in tight formation around a human. The AI responded. Tactical creativity, unpredictable. Efficiency, increasing. Thrixie ships began firing heavy plasma cannons. The shields glowed bright gold but held strong. Jarek switched to drone mode. Small armored drones launched from hidden bays, moving like metal birds. They targeted engines and weapon systems with perfect accuracy. One by one, enemy ships went dark. No massive explosions. No unnecessary destruction. Just clean disablement. HFY at its finest. Face to face with Threx, a large Threxy flagship pushed forward through the chaos. It was twice the size of the Oblivion's fang. A hologram of Threx appeared on Jarek's screen. You are playing with forces beyond your understanding, human. Jarek crossed his arms casually. I bought this ship fair and square. It belongs to history. Threx snapped. You are not worthy. Jarek smiled slightly. Maybe not. But I'm here, and it chose me. The AI confirmed. Human command authority fully synchronized. Threx's eyes widened. That is impossible. The ancient weapon. The flagship powered up a massive cannon. Energy gathered at its core. The AI warned, high-yield weapon detected. Shield impact probability, critical. Jarek thought fast. Instead of raising shields to maximum, he diverted power to engines. At the last second, he accelerated directly toward the flagship. The Threxy fired. The beam shot forward, but Jarek rolled the ship downward sharply. The beam missed by meters. As he passed under the flagship, he activated something new. Planetary siege cannon unlocked. Not explosive, precise. It sliced through the flagship's weapon core. The cannon shut down instantly. The Threxy ship drifted. Powerless. Silence filled space. The remaining enemy ships slowly retreated. Old war footage filled the room. Massive alien fleets burning, planets cracking apart, and among them, human ships. Ancient human ships. But they looked different from modern ones, stronger, more advanced. During the Finals Etherian War, the AI explained, primary command species were eliminated. Humans were chosen as adaptive successors. Few survived. Data incomplete. Jarek stared at the screen. You're saying thousands of years ago, humans helped win this war? Affirmative. Modern galactic history said humans were new, weak, late to space travel. Humans had been here before, and the galaxy had forgotten. First strike. The moment did not last long. Alarms screamed. Multiple warp signatures detected. Hostile fleets arriving. Pirates. Threxy war cruisers. Mercenaries. More than 30 vessels. Jarek whistled. That's a lot of friends. Energy beams shot toward the Oblivion's fang. But the ancient warship reacted instantly. Golden shields expanded outward, thicker than before. The enemy blast struck the shields and scattered like rain hitting glass. Stronger now, full combat protocols unlocked. Human command verified. Panels around Jarek lit up with new controls. Weapon systems he had never seen before appeared on screen. Mass driver cannons, graviton pulse emitters, drone swarms. Jarek grinned. Now we're talking. Human ingenuity. The enemy fleet surrounded him, expecting fear. Instead, Jarek did something unexpected. He flew straight toward them. The pirates hesitated. Is he insane? One pirate captain shouted. Jarek twisted the ship sideways, diving between two cruisers. At the perfect moment, he activated the graviton pulse. A wave of blue energy exploded outward. Enemy ships lost balance. Artificial gravity systems failed. The ship floated in deep space near a blue-white star, but the peace around him felt fake, too still, too calm. "Report," Jarek said calmly. The AI answered in its steady metallic voice. "Long-range sensors detect multiple fleets entering this sector. Pirate signatures, Phrexa military vessels. Unknown third-party warships." Jarek slowly leaned back. "So, everyone wants my 8-credit ship?" "Affirmative." He smiled slightly. "Good." The ship hummed, almost louder than before. The power core glowed brighter under the floor. The Oblivion's fang was changing, growing stronger. The bounty. Far away, on Korath. 9. Drek stood inside his war chamber. A hologram of Jarek's ship rotated above the table. "The human has activated it," Threx hissed. "The ancient Zetherian warship responds to him. This cannot continue." One of his officers bowed. "We have placed a bounty across 7 systems. Any captain who captures the human will be rewarded greatly." Threx's eyes narrowed. "Alive. I want him alive. If the ship accepts humans, we must learn why." A dangerous signal. Back on the Oblivion's fang, a new signal appeared. Not pirate. Not Threxy. Something older. "Incoming encrypted transmission," the AI said. Jarek frowned. "Decrypt it." The screen flickered. Strange alien symbols filled the display. Slowly, they shifted into readable text. "Zytherian war asset detected. Identify command authority." Jarek blinked. Command authority? That's me, I guess. Captain Jarek Voss, human. Current owner of this ship." Then the reply came. Human presence confirmed. Probability match 87%. Awaiting authentication. Jarek looked confused. Authentication for what? The AI spoke softly. Historical data suggest humans were designated emergency command species during final war phase. Jarek froze. Wait, what? The hidden truth. The main screen changed. "Ready for this, old girl?" "Affirmative." "Combat readiness, 85%. Shield, reinforcement, recommended." He activated hidden turrets, energy shields, and the thruster's maximum output. As the alien fleet closed in, Jarek realized that the Oblivion's fang was more than just a ship. It was a legacy of power, waiting to be wielded. Energy beams streaked through space, but the Oblivion's fang moved like a ghost, dodging and weaving, shields glowing, turrets striking with precision. Jarek's hands moved instinctively, guided by the AI, proving that even in an ancient warship, human ingenuity could match the galaxy's finest. Within minutes, the alien attackers were forced to retreat, their ships damaged and engines disabled. Jarek laughed, adrenaline coursing through his veins. "I can't believe I got this ship for 8 credits. Probability of survival against unknown fleets, increasing. Human adaptability, significant factor. I like significant factors." As he set a course for deep space, Jarek realized something crucial. The Oblivion's fang had secrets he hadn't yet discovered. Hidden weapons, cloaking devices, and perhaps even knowledge of a forgotten war were all waiting to be uncovered. And somewhere out there, the galaxy was watching. Pirates, alien empires, and other unknown forces would soon learn that a human had claimed a ship thought worthless. And that human had the cunning, courage, and daring to make it unstoppable. The stars ahead stretched infinitely, filled with danger and opportunity. For Jarek Voss, 8 credits had bought more than a ship. It had bought adventure, power, and a place in history. And this was just the beginning. The galaxy was no longer quiet. Captain Jarek Voss sat in the command chair of the Oblivion's fang, watching multiple warning signals flash across the main screen. He needed supplies, but more importantly, he needed answers. The ship's AI, now fully engaged in a low hum, projected a holographic map of nearby star systems. Recommendation, exploration, and system scan. Hidden data suggests historical significance. Historical significance? Explain. Ship memory banks contain fragments of past galactic war. Original mission: defense of outer colonies. Current relevance: unknown. Unknown alien species may be active. You're saying the ship fought in a galaxy-wide war? Affirmative. Human involvement: uncertain. Ship survival: intentional. Potential dormant capabilities: high. Jarek ran his hands over the console. 1,000 questions raced through his mind. How many humans had flown this ship before? What enemies had it faced? And most importantly, why had it been left to rot in the auction hall? While refueling, Jarek explored a hidden compartment he had discovered earlier. Inside were alien relics and crates, some containing glowing devices he didn't recognize. One small device, no larger than his fist, activated when he touched it, projecting a hologram of a distant planet under siege. Battleships burned, cities exploded, and strange alien creatures marched across the holographic terrain. Whoa, Jarek muttered. This is a war record? Affirmative. Historical reconstruction of last known campaign. Data incomplete. He realized the ship wasn't just a vessel. It was a time capsule, a war machine, and a historian, all in one. Its creators had intended for it to survive long after its pilots were gone. The ship hummed, almost in approval, as if sensing his awe. Jarek smiled. I think we're going to be great partners. But danger lurked nearby. Sensors picked up an approaching fleet, alien ships with sleek designs and glowing weapons. Jarek's eyes narrowed. Looks like our first real test, he muttered. One diagram showed weapon systems hidden behind the hull, while another hinted at a cloaking device. This is insane, Jarek whispered. I thought it was just a rusted hunk of metal. But the quiet didn't last long. Sensors picked up a faint energy signature, distant but growing rapidly. Jarek leaned forward, scanning the readings. Pirates, he muttered. And they're fast. Indeed. A small band of sleek black ships emerged from behind a nearby asteroid. They fired a warning shot that melted a piece of rock near the Oblivion's fang. Jarek's grin returned. Well, they want to fight. Let's give them one. He pressed a sequence of buttons on the alien console. With a low hum, hidden weapon ports opened along the ship's flanks. Energy beams sizzled into the void, creating a dazzling display as the ship's AI adjusted firing angles automatically. The pirates' formation faltered. Their shots struck empty space, deflected by shimmering energy shields that had appeared moments before. Jarek realized the Oblivion's fang was far superior to anything he had faced. Not bad, old girl, he said, patting the console. Not bad at all. The pirates regrouped, attempting a coordinated attack. Jarek twisted the ship, diving through a narrow tunnel of asteroids. The AI guided him with perfect timing, activating cloaking fields that made the ship disappear from sensors. The pirates fired blindly, panic spreading across their formation. Then, with a sudden pulse, the Oblivion's fang emitted a non-lethal electromagnetic shock, disabling the pirate ship's engines. One by one, they drifted helplessly through the asteroid field. Jarek let out a whoop of triumph. 8 credits, people. 8 credits is gold. The AI responded, calm as always. Efficiency in combat, exceptional. Human ingenuity factor, high. Hours later, after the pirates fled, Jarek docked at a small outpost on the edge of an uncharted system. Jarek leaned back in the captain's chair, fingers tapping the worn armrest, a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. 8 credits had bought him a legend, though he had no idea just how legendary the ship truly was. Energy level stable, minor hull wear detected. The AI's voice, calm and measured, cut through the cockpit. I like stable, Jarek said. But what about the other systems? Weapons, shields, any surprises? Systems locked, hidden functions offline. Jarek frowned. Hidden functions? Come on. They show me something. The AI hummed, almost contemplatively. Unlock sequence requires alignment of human and ship intent. Suggest testing maneuverability. Jarek's grin widened. Test maneuverability? Sounds like a challenge. He navigated the ship into an asteroid field nearby. a chaotic cloud of rocky debris tumbling slowly through space. The ship glided smoothly, adjusting its thrusters in ways Jarek had never imagined. The AI guided him subtly, nudging him through narrow gaps between massive boulders. "Okay," he muttered, "you're fast. Faster than I thought. Faster than current human vessels. Shields at 20% capacity during maneuvering." Jarek laughed. "I'll take the risk." Suddenly, one asteroid shifted, sending a shower of smaller rocks hurtling toward the ship. Jarek twisted a lever and hit a button instinctively. From the ship's hull, a series of energy shields projected outward, absorbing the impact before the rocks could scratch the armor. "Whoa," he breathed. "This ship just thought for me." Ship intelligence partially active. Human adaptability detected. Efficiency rating rising. Jarek smirked. "Well, I do try my best." The ship's energy core pulsed as if in response to his humor. In the cockpit, panels flickered and revealed data he couldn't fully understand, alien language mixed with familiar schematics. The auction hall faded beneath him. Stars stretched as he engaged a short warp jump just to see if it worked. In an instant, the planet disappeared behind him, replaced by the deep black of space. The AI spoke again, this time with a note of something resembling curiosity. Human piloting style. Unorthodox, but functional. Survival probability. High. Jarek smirked. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Hours passed as he explored nearby asteroid fields. The ship's systems responded smoothly. Hidden weapon ports slid open and retracted silently. Sensors picked up distant energy signatures, possibly other ships, but nothing approached. Then, a flicker on the sensors. A small scouting ship, clearly hostile, zipped through the asteroid belt. Jarek tilted the Oblivion's fang, dodging debris, and watched the enemy fire miss by meters. With a press of a button, the ancient ship released a pulse of energy that disabled the scout without harming it permanently. "Not bad for 8 credits, Jarek muttered. The scout fled, sending a warning message to some unseen force. Jarek's grin widened. Whoever owned the galaxy's fleets didn't know he now had something they would soon fear. Back on Korath, 9, Threx snarled. "He has it. The human has the ship. Prepare a retrieval team. Do not fail." Jarek, floating among the stars, had no idea what was coming. He only knew one thing for certain. He had bought a ship forgotten by the galaxy, and the galaxy was about to remember. The Oblivion's fang thrummed beneath him, alive in ways even he could not understand. Its hidden potential whispered promises of adventure, danger, and power beyond imagination, and Captain Jarek Voss was ready. The stars stretched endlessly before Captain Jarek Voss as the Oblivion's fang cruised through the quiet void. Its ancient hull glinted faintly under the distant light of a dying sun, and the ship hummed softly, as if alive. Some crates had weapons, some had power cells that hummed faintly. In one hidden compartment, he found a small sphere that glowed when he touched it, then shut off, as if satisfied with his presence. A sudden alarm startled him. Red lights blinked across the hallways. The ship's AI voice, calm as ever, said, "Unknown threat detected. Recommendation. Caution." "Here? It's just me," Jarek muttered, stepping carefully through the corridors. A hatch slid open, revealing a small control panel. Symbols shifted under his gaze, rearranging themselves into a pattern he could understand. With a flick of his hand, the panels displayed power levels, shield status, and navigation charts, all showing that the ship was far more advanced than anything in current human fleets. He leaned back in the captain's chair, feeling a rush of excitement. 8 credits, he whispered. 8 credits, and I might have just bought the best ship in the galaxy. Outside, the galaxy was quiet for a moment, as if watching. Threx had sent a small drone to follow the ship. Its sensors buzzed, detecting Jarek climbing aboard. Back on Korath, 9, the reptilian leader gritted his teeth. "Do not underestimate a human. The ship may be forgotten, but it is not powerless." Jarek, unaware, was testing the propulsion systems. The engines rumbled, ancient power coursing through them. He pushed a lever, and the ship lifted slightly from the docking bay. Dust fell from the ceiling. The AI's voice intoned. "Thrusters at 40% efficiency. Power levels stable. Estimated warp jump possible." Jarek laughed. "A warp jump? On a ship everyone else thought was junk? This is going to be fun. As night fell on Korath 9, Jarek decided to make the first small test flight. He pushed the ship out of the docking bay, hovering above the planet's surface. The ship responded as if it had been waiting for him, adjusting shields and stabilizers automatically. Do I hear 8 credits? Laughter erupted from the other bidders. 8 credits? A sleek, blue-skinned alien scoffed. That's barely enough to cover cleaning fees. Jarek ignored them. 8 credits, he repeated, louder this time. The hall went quiet. The auctioneer tilted his holographic glasses. Do I have 9? 8, Jarek shouted, surprising even himself. No one else bid. A long pause. The auctioneer tapped his console. Sold. 8 credits. 2, Captain Jarek Voss. Gasps echoed around the room. Tentacles twitched in disbelief. Threx hissed, baring sharp teeth. You don't know what you're touching, human, one of their officers warned. That ship is cursed. Ancient. Dangerous. Jarek just smiled. Dangerous is my specialty. Later, on the outskirts of the auction house, Jarek climbed aboard the ship. Its interior smelled of rust and stale metal. The air inside was thin, but somehow breathable. Panels flickered with unreadable symbols. The cockpit was enormous, with multiple consoles, levers, and screens. Nothing was labeled in any language Jarek had ever seen. Okay, old friend, he muttered, brushing dust off the captain's chair. Let's see what you've got. He flipped switches at random. Lights flickered. A low hum started in the hull. Then, a voice echoed through the cockpit. It was soft, metallic, and surprisingly calm. Identity confirmed. Unknown human. Authorization. Minimal. Systems. Online. Jarek froze. He hadn't expected the ship to talk. I didn't know you were alive, he stammered. Alive is subjective, the ship replied. Primary functions operational. Diagnostics incomplete. Hidden systems locked. Jarek grinned. This was better than he imagined. Most ancient ships he found were either scrap or traps. This one might be something extraordinary. He spent hours exploring the corridors. Storage rooms revealed crates of strange tech covered in dust and cobwebs. I bought a galaxy-forgotten armored ship for $8. You won't believe what happened. The auction hall on Korath 9 was loud, crowded, and smelled faintly of burnt metal and fried synth food. Holoscreens flashed with images of ships, weapons, and rare relics. Aliens of every shape and size milled about, tentacles brushing screens, claws tapping controls, eyes darting nervously at each other. It was a place where fortunes were made in minutes and lives could change with a single bid. Captain Jarek Voss walked in with a casual swagger, though his pockets were almost empty. He had a small credit balance, enough to survive a week, maybe 2, if he was careful. Jarek had spent years scavenging the edges of the galaxy for lost tech, forgotten ships, and rumors of ancient treasures. Most people called him reckless. He called it opportunity. His eyes scanned the current auction lot, a massive armored ship, hulking and old, sitting in the corner of the hall like a forgotten relic. The metal was rusted, scratched, and covered in alien symbols that even the auctioneer admitted no one could read. Its paint was faded, nearly invisible under the hall's dim lights. Lot 452, the announcer boomed in a voice that made the room vibrate. Oblivion's Fang, formerly owned by the lost fleets of the Zetherian Empire. No weapon systems confirmed. No life support confirmed. Condition unknown. Most bidders laughed. Tentacled aliens hissed and slithered away. A reptilian-looking species called the Threxi whispered among themselves, shaking their heads. Jarek, however, felt a familiar thrill in his chest. This ship, something about it called to him. He stepped closer, brushing his fingers along the cold, pitted hull. The metal hummed faintly under his touch, almost like it was alive. 8 credits, he muttered under his breath, more as a test than a real bid. The auctioneer's eyelid interface blinked.